So we have Anish on our podcast today. Welcome, Anish. How are
Hey,
you, man?
Mark. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
So, how did you begin into financial influencing, basically?
I don't like the word influencer.
Okay, not influencer.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
yes.
an influencer
So,
because
is it a hobby or is it like a full-time thing?
it started as a hobby. It's still not a full-time thing for me because I'm a mechanical engineer. This is my college, so I should thank you for inviting me for a podcast here. But for me, it started during COVID. I got into an app called Scenes by Avalon.
Okay.
Yeah, wherein it was a Clubhouse ripoff.
Okay. Yeah.
If you don't know what Clubhouse is, it's a audio-based social media app. People used to come on stage and just talk.
Talk. Okay.
You don't have to show your face.
Okay. Okay.
Usually people have a problem.
Scenes by Avalon is by
Varun Maya.
Maya. Yes.
Varun Maya, Shashank Udupa.
Okay.
So like, okay, here's another app which is an Indian ripoff of Clubhouse. And I joined to be a creator in that app.
Okay.
The first session I conducted there was about finance, and there were like two people, one including me.
How was it?
Yeah, I thought like no one's gonna join because it was just two, right? So just one person joined that day. It was my first day.
First day, yeah.
But I didn't care because for me it was a form of expression. I didn't go there to get fame. So I was not really demotivated. I went there every day, no matter what, 11 a.m. Spoke about stocks, shares, crypto. And eventually the channel grew. It ended up being the second largest finance channel. In fact, the second largest channel in the app.
Okay.
First one was by the founder, Shashank Udupa. So he was giving a lot of push. People like my sessions. And then one fine day, the same audience were like, you speak well, decent about finance. Why don't you start Instagram? I'm like, okay, your wish is my command. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So started Instagram. Same story again. So no one gave a lot of bav. But me being me, I'm consistent. So there are two things. This is a tip to every creator. One is constructive criticism that you get. You shouldn't ignore that. Two, people just throw comments at you because they are not able to do what you're doing.
Yeah, that's that.
So ignore that part, but take the constructive criticism that you're getting.
What constructive criticism did you get at the
They're
start?
very specific with their advice.
Okay.
For example, a person comes to you and says, hey, your reel is not good. That is not constructive criticism.
Yeah.
The person comes to you and say, hey, the lighting could have been much better. If your lighting would be good, then I would watch your reel. It would be more enticing for me. If you add more transitions, it would get my attention and I would eventually watch your reel. That is constructive. They're very specific. Eh, ni kapujiya budu content creation. It's not your thing. It's not nice.
That's
That is not.
basically.
Yeah, that's them not being able to do what you're doing. And
Yeah.
it's a typical crab. It's called as a crab mentality.
mentality, yeah.
They can't move forward. So that's
Can't
what
bring you
crabs
down
do.
also.
They don't, it's impossible for a crab to get out of a
of this,
bucket
yeah.
because they pull each other
Pull
down.
each other down, yeah.
So I didn't fall for it. And then one reel went viral. It was a GPay reel, GPay related.
Okay.
Because there is this thing, right? We often say, I'll GPay it to you, bro.
Yeah.
And you never do it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
GPay came up with a feature, split with friends
friends,
instantly.
yeah.
So that went viral. And then again, 2 to 3 reels went viral and I hit 100K. Still a hobby. But once you're at that stage, you get brand deals.
Brand deals.
You get people who approach you for content. I avoid brand deals, but I'll create content for other brands. I've done it for Grow. I've done it for Max Life Insurance, Piramal Finance. So that's good because I like creating and talking content about finance, right?
Okay.
So yeah, from a mechanical engineer to accidental content
finance
creator.
player. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, when did you start with getting into stock market? Because see, I've seen most people who are into stocks and shares, they start pretty young. Like it's a habit that you eventually take it seriously later on. When did you start?
It's not a start, but I was exposed to it in standard 5.
Oh, okay.
When my dad, no, I was not like buy and sell at 5.
I get that.
My dad was doing stocks, he was trading, and I was like, what is this on the screen? There are a lot of green charts, red charts, lot of names of companies. And there were 2 lines. That's how the CNBC TV 18 is. They show two lines and stocks keep moving. They're called as stickers.
Stickers, yeah.
Like, what is this? My dad is like, hang on, you got to grow. And then I will probably tell you what it is. I was curious. That's my first exposure to stocks. And then as soon as I graduated and started making my own money, I read about it, and then it was fascinating because the fact that you can have an ownership in a big ass company means a lot. A lot of people don't realize this. They think that, hey, today I'll put, tomorrow it'll be double. It's not that, right? That's one way of seeing it. But the other way is you can be a shareholder of Reliance Industries. Ambani is answerable to his shareholders every year, every quarter. When they come out and say, I've done this, and this, it is him being answerable to you and me if you are a shareholder. That was fascinating to me. And I'm like, okay, I'll read. It shouldn't be that hard. We studied very difficult subjects in engineering.
Integration,
which I ignored completely. And I'm glad that I did, because it absolutely made any difference in my life. So that's how I got started. And then I started investing as mutual funds, direct stocks, cryptocurrencies, NFTs. So
what's your take on NFTs? Like, and especially now that we have seen that the whole market is just gone away, what's your take on it?
So it's a bit tricky, right? My take on NFTs is, I've been there, I've seen what it can achieve in the long run. So the current NFT is just hype. Like, there are monkeys, donkeys, apes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the use case of NFT, the NFT technology, it can be used in everyday life. Now, imagine your property papers. What do they have? They have basic details, right? Who's the owner? What is the size of the property? Correct? Transfer of ownership. All of this can be easily faked. And there have been cases
where fake has happened.
It will get shifted.
Yes.
Of course, it's not that easy now because it's digitized.
Yeah.
But the better version of this, the decentralized version, is the NFT, because it is on blockchain.
Yeah.
And once the data is fed into the blockchain in the form of metadata. So all the things that I told, the attributes of a rent paper or a property paper, can be in an NFT in the form of metadata, which cannot be tampered at all.
Yeah.
So that is one use case of NFTs. There can be many more use cases. It can be used as tickets. It can be used as artifacts. So I am...
That's a vast array of use cases. Yeah.
It's something that a lot of people don't understand, because it takes time to understand, and you know how impatient we are.
Yeah.
We need to learn everything in 5-10 minutes. Doesn't work that way, but I'm very bullish about what it can achieve in the future. That's why it's about this being early and being there when it is absolutely gone to shit. Currently, crypto markets is gone to shit. There's no other way of saying it, because Indian stock markets are doing great considering the overall economy. US markets is going up, but cryptocurrencies is still 25 to 30K, that range, right? And NFTs have recently, Ethereum, so there are different blockchains. Ethereum NFTs crashed a lot. So a lot of people are like, oh, this is a scam. So this is the time when you have to pay attention and start spending time to understand what it is, and you can probably start working in this field as well.
But don't you feel like there should be some more regulatory bodies over crypto? Like, now you saw the FTX, they basically scammed people. So do you feel there should be a government regulation?
No, regulation helps in mass adoption and giving some clarity. So yes, there should be regulation. But that shouldn't be a reason for you to not get into it or understand it or read about it. You don't have to wait for regulation to understand the tech, right? You're just postponing. It's the inevitable. Blockchain, AI, etc. You can say, oh, nothing's gonna happen. It's not gonna take over. Probably you can convince yourself for now, but sooner or later it will take over. Again, it's my opinion, which is based on a lot of things that's happening, and I've been hanging out with that crowd. So I see what the potential is. So it's good that if you do it now, but 100% yes, regulation helps in bringing in the normies, that the masses, like millions and billions of people, if they have to adopt cryptocurrency or blockchain tech or AI for that matter.
That's where I wanted to ask you, like, what do you feel, like, how to say, the big hype that AI will take over jobs? What do you feel about that? Like, what's your take on that?
Let's take a very simple example. My everyday life or your everyday life. Look at the tasks that you do, which can be done with the help of ChatGPT. I'm not sure if you've used ChatGPT.
We have.
You have, right? So let's say writing a bio for LinkedIn. It's a pain in the ass to write a bio, right? Now you just go to like ChatGPT and say, give me a bio for a mechanical engineer who's open to jobs, blah blah blah, and then you can refine the prompt and get a perfect bio. Something which can potentially take you 60 to 75 minutes is done in 5 minutes. Now this is a very naive example. Now people can write articles, they can code to an extent, if not complete code, some types of code. A lot of tasks can be automated using ChatGPT.
So you're saying it's like a facilitator.
It's a facilitator, which means the direct impact is a lot of jobs, the current jobs, are very repetitive and mundane in nature. And especially the tech support jobs. You go to a bank, you have a problem with your credit card, or you have to block your credit card. There's absolutely no need of a human being there.
Yeah, that's that.
Right? You give an input of your 4 digits of your card, it cross-checks with your date of birth, and it blocks. I think you don't even need ChatGPT for this.
For that, yeah, exactly.
They can use the phone dial pad and then tag with the inputs and then block. So that itself is replacing human work. Now imagine ChatGPT, which is 100x smarter than these technology that we already have. So now you think about it. Do you think it will replace at least the repetitive mundane jobs, which is majority of the jobs, by the way?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel it will facilitate this.
And maybe increase efficiency of workflow.
See, for companies, it's perfect. If they can implement it, and of course they will keep some checks and balances. They're saving a lot of money on manpower alone, right? So that's the thing. When companies see that they can save money, there is more incentive for them to push this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure regulation will come in. You cannot have mass layoffs.
Yeah,
that's where the governments might step in and say, you know what, robots and all that is cool, but keep like 30-40% humans in your company. I wouldn't be surprised to see those times wherein there is a regulation which says keep 40% humans.
Like unlike America, where they don't have a minimal amount you pay to a wage you pay to an employee.
America actually has a minimum wage. They have hourly wage. So companies cannot underpay you. Okay. In India, they can.
How is that?
So yeah, America has a hourly that too. It's not even per day. It's per hour. I'm not sure about the bar. It's probably $14-15, which is a lot for us, right? So America is pretty sorted. Most developed nations have worker friendly regulations. That's why they're all sorted in terms of their development, so they have to keep that balance, so they focus on that. In India, it's about growth,
yeah.
So you might have to.
Do you feel India will be like anytime soon be a superpower, like especially now that we are taken slowly going up above and above in GDP, and also we have crossed England as the 5th largest economy? Where do you see we going?
We are doing great progress. One advantage India has is the young demography that we have. I'm young, you're young.
You're young.
I'm borderline young, but so major economies, for example, Japan, their average age is very old.
Yeah, exactly.
So India has the advantage of that younger.
If I'm not wrong, Japan has an aging population.
It has an aging population.
Yes.
And even US is not as much as Japan, but the major developing countries have this problem. Developed nations have this problem, and India being a developing country already. But see, here's the difference. One aspect of it is growth. Yes, we will grow, or we will keep growing. But in terms of infrastructure, can we match a developed nation? That will take a lot of time.
Yes.
You see how our city is developing. It's great. But the nooks and corners of our country, if it's completely different when you go from here to a village or to some isolated parts in northern parts of the country.
Yeah.
It's like two different Indias. You'll be shocked.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So for the development to reach those places, it will take a lot of time, and but we are going in the right direction. Our policies are in sync. You see how good our financial system is. You wouldn't believe, a lot of friends from UK, they're fascinated by the UPI system that we have. Yeah. Like, shit, it's so easy to send money to each other and to pay. Like, what do you mean you're from UK or US? Why are you surprised? They're like, our system is not so robust. So we have that system, we have digitization coming up, but to reach the state of developed nation will take a lot of time, but we will continue to grow.
That's there.
You're seeing that with the startups, the funding that there is. So it's not.
If I'm not wrong, you're also a startup owner?
Yeah, I own a startup. It's no longer a startup because it's 5 years old now, 5+ years. So the money, how do you see your country is growing? You see the global money flow. You see that a lot of money is being poured into India from the developed nation. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. Yeah.
So we are on the right track. And then it depends on people like you how and the
younger
generation, our generation, your generation, and the generation before you, coming generation, as to how we take this forward.
Okay, now recently, like let's say now that you are you have some financial analysis background. What would you say about the Adani scam? Would you call it a scam in the first place, or is it just what do you call it, a false report given by Hindenburg?
Yeah, see, for me, without reading the report, when I say reading the report, not reading the news headlines.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference between checking the news headlines and reading the report. I've not read the report completely.
Yeah.
Face value, there are a few things which are a bit iffy on both sides. For example, they shorted the stocks.
Okay. Yeah, that's the
Shorting is you're selling the stock and then buying it back at a better price. Now, you cannot short a stock and then release a report which indicts Adani and that report will help them in reducing the stock price, right? So that was their goal. So these two things are, I don't know, it's a bit iffy, but Adani, the group of companies, I'm not saying everything's all right. Their growth, again, it's not a scam, right?
Yeah,
it's not a scam.
It's a legit company.
It's a legit company, and it's just that their growth is being fueled by debt. That is not a scam. It is not a scam until it becomes a scam or until they default. Again, you still cannot call it a scam. For example, you can take a loan and still default because of multiple reasons. Does that make you a scamster? Is your intent to scam? No. Your intent might be to build a business, make it profitable, and pay back the loan. Didn't work out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Adani, his primary growth strategy is fueled by large amount of debt, which he is able to pay back at the moment. If a few things goes wrong, then there might be defaults. That doesn't mean that
it's a scam.
It's a scam. Yeah. So, and also on their side, they did the shorting and then released the report. So
that's unethical, at least.
That's unethical. Yes.
Yeah. You're reporting on thing that you yourself has shorted.
You have a vested interest in the report.
Exactly.
If they were, and they have a history of doing this,
not the first time
for different companies. So I would take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah. Now that you are in Bangalore, you are part of the startup culture. What do you feel like? Where has the India gone from? Like initially we had barely startups 10 years ago. Now we have a hype of everybody putting an entrepreneur on their LinkedIn profile. Where do you think is it going, especially startups nowadays?
It's nice. It's good to see that there is a platform for people who want to start something on their own. Whereas 5 years back or 4 years back, the ecosystem was not there. When I say ecosystem, it's about these administrative things like starting a company. How easy is it to start a company now versus how it was a few years back? And you have people around you starting things on their own. You get motivated, and if something goes wrong, you know that there's someone who you can talk to. Now, it was not the case 5 years before, right? So I'm pretty happy with the progress, because you just have to look into your everyday life. How has things changed in the past 4 to 5 years? The apps that you make use of, right?
Exactly.
It's not possible if these guys didn't take the plunge. Okay, you can tell it's a copy of a US company, but they still have to make it for the Indian demography, economy, and it's not easy. It's very easy for us to say that, oh, Audale ji copy maltinya. For example, Flipkart copied Amazon is what people say, but it is it's two different demographies, right? You got to give them the credit because they took it on them. That too, I don't know when Flipkart started, probably 10, 12 years back. Yeah, that time, they've thought that, okay, it will be a good idea to start e-commerce in India. So they took that risk, even though it was a similar idea, and they implemented it and they made it successful.
In an Indian demography.
In an Indian demography, which is completely different than US. Indians are still not okay buying things online. Americans buy everything online.
Online, yeah.
So that's a massive difference. So you got to give credit to Flipkart and other startups. So many startups, Swiggy, Zomato, your Tinder,
Blinkit.
Bumble, Blinkit. Yeah, so difficult to find a dating partner before. Now you guys do left, right, left, right, left, right. You get one. I don't know if you get one. Boys have a problem, it seems.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah.
But
it's always tough for the guys.
It's about the balance, the ratio. Yeah. No way to fix that, unfortunately. But just saying how life has become easier because of the apps. And why is this possible? Because of the ecosystem and the money that is flowing into the startup culture. And Bangalore is pretty chill that way. There are enough people there where you can talk to, network, very helpful in that sense. If you hang out with the same crowd, the startup crowd, a lot of cafes, people go and chill there. Everyone's apparently building something. They're drinking coffee, eating something, but they're building $1 million startup. I don't know if it's true or false, but it feels good to talk to someone who's building something ecosystem, cool. It's a good ecosystem. Bangalore is very chill. I always say this. Up to 35, you got to be in Bangalore, make a lot of money, come back to Bangalore, chill.
Yes.
Yeah, people don't open till 10 here. They're like, chill, aram se malle je barper. They'll come tomorrow if they want. So...
There's a seaside setting.
Yeah, the sea only has that vibe. Yeah. It's like, don't get up today, sleep a little more.
Same thing. I'm from Goa, so it's like we take it. We call it Susegad.
Goa, man. Yes. South Goa especially. What a place. I recently went to South Goa.
Okay. Where were you in South Goa?
Wow. I don't remember, but we stayed in a villa. It was a company. We took my Spirit Wish. We took 12 employees. We chilled there for 6 days. 6 days,
okay.
And it was fun. And I really like how relaxed South Goa people were. Very chill. Naturally, unnaturally, but they're very chill.
Yeah. Like we close shops by 9, open them at next 9. It's like...
I really like the place versus North Goa. It's a bit hype. South Goa is my kind of place.
In my opinion, it's just party over there. People just party over there.
Yeah. Here there are a lot of nice places. I went to this waterfall. I forgot the name. It was beautiful.
Dudhsagar?
No, not one of those Google Reels.
The Reels one. Okay, you went to a smaller one.
Yeah. The waterfalls was pretty good. We had to trek and walk for a kilometer. Okay. I need to find the exact name, but it was beautiful. I would go there anytime again.
Like heaven, huh?
Surreal,
yes. Okay, next, I wanted to ask you this actually. Okay, let's say there's a noob who wants to get into investing. What's your advice, or what would you tell him to invest in for a start?
Okay, let's try to explain this with an example. Do you consider yourself a noob when it comes to investing?
Okay, yeah, kind of, yes. Okay, let's say I had 10,000 rupees. I want to make this more in the long term. What do I do?
So here's the thing, right? Let's say you have 10,000 for now and you don't have recurring monthly income. Mm-hmm. You don't have something coming in every month.
Okay.
Let's say you're a student and you'll graduate eventually, and then you will start making money. So this 10,000 you can either keep it in a fixed deposit, or you can invest in a stock or a mutual fund. Okay. That's not the important part. The important part is once you start earning a fixed monthly income, how do you divide that into your expenses, into savings and investing?
What is your what's the split up?
I would say I don't know, man. There are rules: 40% rule, 30% rule, 20, 40, 40, right? 20 is your investments, and then 40 is your wants, 40 is your needs. Yeah. People have these fancy rules. I keep it very simple. Keep it dynamic. Let's say you're getting 40,000 a month, and what I would ideally do is I would keep aside 20%, minimum 20%, and put it into a separate account. Okay. Now your expenses get aligned to whatever money you have.
Okay.
One mistake which people do is they do it at the end of the month.
Okay.
So let's say you got 40, you do all your spending for the month, and then from the remaining you put 20%, which is
you'll already be spending more
than So let's say you have 10,000, 20% of 10,000 is 2,000.
Yeah.
Right? 20% of 40,000 is 8,000.
8,000, yeah.
So these small things that habits that you inculcate will come a long way, because let's say the 8K that you're saving or investing now the question is, what do you do with that 8,000 rupees? That depends on your risk and goals. Everyone has goals, right? You would want to go on a trip, you want to buy a car / a bike. I'm assuming I'm sharing some very basic human goals, aspirational human goals. Holiday, car / bike, marriage, university, higher studies. Pretty much 20 to 35, you can consider these are the goals. Now, every goal can have a price attached to it. A holiday to Europe will take 3 to 4 lakhs. A car, depending on what type of car you want, will take 5 to 10 lakhs. Scooter will be 1 to 1.5. Marriage, I don't know, depends on you. It can be as low as 5, 10, 15, 20. You've seen some crazy marriages happen.
Are you planning to have a big marriage, or is it just normal?
I don't know why they spend so much for like 6-8 hours. But it's again your call, right? So depending on these goals, now you start investing based on risks. Now risks come in. You know that you absolutely cannot take a chance when it comes to your education.
Yes.
And it is something that is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. So that will go into a lesser, riskier instrument. What are the lesser riskier? Fixed deposits, debt. There is bonds. These two are usually the less riskier ones. Now you know that your marriage, assuming that you're 21, 22.
I am. Yes.
And I'm assuming you will take easily 5, 6, 7 years for marriage. You know that it is a long time. Which means you can invest this goal ka money into mutual funds and stocks. It's all about your goals, the risk that you can take, and the time horizon. That's it. People complicate it a lot, but you just have to follow the 20% shifting rule. And then that 20%, you got to invest based on your three attributes that I told. Then one more thing is, let's say you save more money because you've kept 20% aside, and you have 32,000 to spend, and you've again you've spent everything for the month. Still, you have 4-5K remaining. Invest again. So what happens if you follow a particular rule is, you'll not invest this because your rule says 20, 40, 40. You're in that mind frame. Now you don't stick to a rule. Keep in mind that the maximum I save, better it is for me and my future. So I'll keep investing and saving. That should be our goal.